Now I invite you to rise as you're willing and able and join in hymn 184, which we will sing through 3 times.
You may be seated. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Melanie Turbovic. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome to the portal to enlightenment. As we enter this sacred space and time, let us bring our full mindful selves to this hour as we open to being nurtured within our community of deep understanding, compassion, and respect. Let us enter this time and space together, awakening to the invitation of this precious present moment. We light this chalice as a symbol of the living tradition of Unitarian Universal and as a beacon of welcome to hearten all who enter this place from various faith traditions, seeking illumination in their search. We light this chalice knowing that each one of us arrives here with faith to face our challenges, with love that casts out fear, and with hope to trust tomorrow. Let's accept today as the gift that it is, a reason for rejoicing. Please stand as you are able and join together as we sing hymn 123, Spirit of Life, twice.
Blow in the wind.
please remain standing as we join together in reciting our covenant. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service.
It is a pleasure for the Buddhist Study Group to be able to share with you some of what we've been working on in the past year. And I have been blessed with the opportunity to work with the members of the Buddhist Study Group. Excuse me. I lost a page. Here it is. Good, okay. I'm the leader of the Buddhist Study Group. I've been studying and practicing Zen Buddhism since 1992 when I went to a residential workshop at Green Gulch Farm, a branch of the San Francisco Zen Center near Muir Beach in California. It's really beautiful there. The truth is that I had no intention of joining in on the meditation sessions, but my first night there, Norman Fisher, now Norman Fisher Roshi, asked several of us if we were going to meditate with them in the morning. Afraid of what the answer would be, I asked what time the meditation was. Norman said it was later than at the monastery at Tassajara. They didn't start at Green Gulch until 5 a.m. I explained to Norman that as a young adult, I sometimes did not go to bed until 4 a.m. He was unfazed. He is a wonderful and dedicated teacher, and he asked me the right question. He asked me how often I would be living at a Zen practice center and would be able to do meditation practice with them. I agreed to give it a try for a month. Then I fell in love with the practice and ended up staying at Green Gulch for 2 years. Then I did go to the monastery at Tassajara for another 1.5 years. I've also studied with Katagiri Roshi in Minnesota and Aiken Roshi in Hawaii. The weather was very nice there too. I have been fortunate enough to have participated in retreats led by Thich Nhat Hanh, the esteemed Vietnamese monk, and have attended several initiations and teachings by the Dalai Lama. So I have developed a great respect for all 3 of the major Buddhist traditions, which include Zen or Mahayana, the great vehicle, which we associate with Japan, Theravada, the school of the elders, which is associated with Southeast Asia, and Vajrayana, the indestructible vehicle or the way of the diamond, which comes from Tibet. I am grateful for all the teachings I have received and for the opportunity to share some of my understanding with you at CCUU. And I have been blessed with the opportunity to work with the members of the Buddhist Study Group, who sometimes even do the suggested readings. Today we'll be presenting reflections on why we study Buddhist teachings and why we engage in Buddhist practices such as mindfulness and meditation, regardless of whether or not we call ourselves Buddhists. Neither Thich Nhat Hanh nor the Dalai Lama appear to be concerned whether or not people call themselves Buddhists, but they emphasize the importance of kindness and compassion in our lives. Last summer, we talked about the Buddhist teaching of karma as presented by Ethan Nichtern, a Tibetan Buddhist teacher, in the book The Road Home. This year, we finished reading that book and began The Art of Power by Thich Nhat Hanh. Today, we'll address some simple questions, or not so simple questions, like, who am I? Why am I here? What is the most important thing to do? How can I find true happiness? We've got almost an hour. We have plenty of time. But first, let's have the message for all ages.
Looking around, and I don't see very many young people, but for anybody who is young or young at heart, I would invite you to come on down if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, stay where you are. Oh, okay. Terrific. And apparently I'm going to have to use this mic because I didn't plan. So come on down if you want, and like I said, down. I Am Peace, a Book of Mindfulness by Susan Verdi, art by Peter H. Reynolds. There are times when I worry about what might happen next and what happened before. The thoughts in my head are like rushing water, and I feel like a boat with no anchor, being carried away. I give myself a moment, I take a breath, and then I tell myself, it's all right. I feel the ground beneath my feet and steady myself. And start to notice the here and the now. My thoughts begin to settle, my mind begins to clear. I am peace. I can watch my worries gently pop and disappear. I let go of things. I can say what I feel inside out loud. I know myself. I can share kindness with others. I make a difference, sorry. I can hug a tree and thank it for its beauty and its strength. I connect to nature. I can watch the clouds make shapes against the sky. I know wonder. I can taste and smell and touch and hear and see what is all around me. I use my senses. I can feel my breath fill my whole body. I tune into me. Now the water is still. I have found my anchor and everything is all right. I don't need to worry about before or after. I am in this moment. I am peace. Now I share my peace with others and hope that it is carried away to those who need it. And I dream we are peace.
Thank you. Okay, this is my rendition of a Tai Chi move. Why am I here? Asked the Tai Chi master at the retreat I went to in March, who was teaching a move that was kind of like that, but a lot better. Why would I meditate? Could meditation really be a portal to enlightenment? Ethan Nichtern talks about the practice of meditation as helping us to cultivate the qualities of mind that truly make a difference in life, which he indicates are mindfulness, compassion, love, intelligence, patience, and fearlessness. And he points out that meditation helps you to make friends with yourself. When we meditate, we could, and I'm going to quote him here, take the same attitude of curiosity and excitement we would have hanging out with somebody we're really interested in. We need to look at our minds with enough curiosity and friendship not to judge or condemn what we find. This is what it means to get to know ourselves through meditation. It's about accepting your own friend request. Many decades ago, actually half a century ago, I was at a workshop where I was placed in a group with 12 men and 1 other woman. I didn't know any of those people, and being somewhat of an introvert, did not feel comfortable. After several days, the leader gave us a paper and told us each to write down the name of the person in the group we most wanted to get to know more. I looked deeply inside myself and wrote down my true answer. Who did I choose? Myself. Probably for the first time in my life. I felt very free and at peace. Then the leader read all of the answers out loud. None of the other members had chosen me, and mine was the last answer that was read out. I was the only one who'd chosen myself. When the leader read my answer, he said that it made him more interested in me. Earlier in the group, I would have been very pleased that he liked my answer, but by then, I wasn't worried what he or any of the others thought about me. I was very happy to have chosen to get to know myself and vowed to know myself better. Then I went on to do meditation practice. Did I have a lot of things inside me I needed to deal with? I was busy for years. In fact, for the first 10 years or so, I was very attached to teachers outside of myself, not trusting my own judgment or my own inner wisdom. But my teachers always encouraged the students to be in touch with the true teacher inside of themselves. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, the great awakening occurs when we recognize that what we are looking for is within us. Then our suffering will end and we will be happy. Now Susan Auld will read a reflection from Julie Ciccarelli, who's not able to be here today.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay. Thich Nhat Hanh says that through mindfulness and meditation, you can begin to see more deeply into the reality of your body, the reality of your consciousness, and the reality of your situation. When you see clearly, you're not likely to make so many mistakes. You have a chance to do the right thing in order to bring well-being to yourself and the people you love. That's the benefit of sitting. Julie also sent her personal reflection concerning that passage, and I'm going to read it, quoting Julie. I like the statement that meditation helps you make friends with yourself. So many of us tend to criticize ourselves, thinking we could have done better. We shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Why did we do that? I'm thinking most of you can relate to that negative way of thinking. I have found both gratitude and loving kindness meditations lessen negative thoughts. Gratitude meditation helps us to be thankful for family, friends, and the very earth that supports us. Loving kindness meditation teaches us to be kind to ourselves and others. Thankfulness, gratitude, and loving kindness meditation enriches our lives, and we have been shown to make us happier. You all and I may make mistakes, but we are humans, and humans have been known to make a few mistakes. Loving meditation teaches, may you be filled with loving kindness, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you be happy. I wish all of those to all of you.
Thank you, Susan, and wishes to Julie that she may feel better. So how can you do meditation? Actually, meditation could be seen as consisting of two elements. The first element is to stop, to calm the mind and concentrate. This would be mindfulness. And mindfulness needs to be mindfulness of something, such as your breath or your steps, physical sensations, thoughts, or emotions. The energy of mindfulness can help you to embrace the focus of your intention. The second element of meditation is looking deeply inside, which leads to insight, or deep understanding. Because we can focus more easily on something that's interesting to us than something that isn't, we are more likely to be successful at mindfulness and concentration if we choose to be focused on something interesting. What could that be? No, not social media. Put your phones down. Let's turn our practice inward. One practice for young people, or young at heart people, involves 4 pictures which could be used for mindfulness practice, especially if you're aware of your breathing at the same time. That's like getting double credit. Just breathing is good enough, though. In your order of worship, there may be a page with 4 prompts. I don't know if there is or not, but they will be up on the screen. Feel free to use these if you would like. Yes, they're up on the screen. Fresh as a flower, solid as a mountain, calm as still water, free as space. I am fresh as a flower. What would it feel like to be as fresh as a flower? Solid as a mountain. What would it feel like to be that grounded and confident? Calm as still water. What would it feel like to be so calm, still, quiet, and clear? As free as space. Could there be space and openness deep inside of me? What would it feel like to be so free, light, and relaxed? While staying seated, let's sing meditation hymn number 402, From You I Receive.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Joanne Rivak will read a poem, 10,000 Flowers by Wu Min.
Good morning. My name is Joanne Rivak. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm going to read a poem written by Wu Min, who was a classic Zen poet who lived from 1183 to 1260. But the poem still has meaning for us today. 10,000 flowers in spring, the moon in autumn, a cool breeze in summer, snow in winter. If your mind is not clouded by unnecessary things, this is the best season of your life.
Thank you. Rick Rayborn offered a reflection on his practice, which will be read by Bob Anders. Please come forward.
I'm asking you to consider mindfulness as a result. To me, mindfulness is the ability to be completely honest with oneself. It is the willingness and ability for clear observation of one's self-reactions at any given point in time, an awareness of the mechanics of response to life's stimuli. Of course, to be mindful requires presence in the moment, to be able to listen, to see, to hear, to feel, to smell, to taste, and to absorb all that is to the fullest extent of our abilities as they allow. People spend years trying to achieve mindfulness, but does it really need to be so difficult? How many of us take the time to remove distractions, to set aside all the emails, texts, calls, pursuits that generate deadlines, agendas, bills, parties, and the events of modern life that we say are important? How many of us push a myriad of stuff into our minds and call it learning, rather than allowing our curiosities to simply unfold? In my experience, turning off distractions comes with rewards. Making a real effort towards removing all the unnecessary noise around me and disconnecting from all the thoughts that have formed me, for better or worse, enables a more simplified, essential existence. And when I've given myself a chance to exist as I was designed and to absorb the world that is, according to that design, it seems that I automatically begin to reflect on those experiences and how I am so affected by them. My perceptions become greater, my experiences richer, my memories longer, and my understandings truer. Giving due respect and recognition that we all have some practicalities in our lives that cannot be left unattended, I do invite you to consider that you might be able to ignore, at least for a while anyway, in order to give yourself a chance to perceive the world as you were designed to do, and then how you respond to it, both voluntary and involuntary. By removing distractions, I think you will find your observations of self in the moment to be something of value, and ultimately something for which you are appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you. Now Peggy Graves will reflect on true happiness and the 5 powers.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. I got to collect my thoughts a moment. I've had a lot of thoughts going through my mind about this all week. I went from one way to present this talk to another. It's been a journey. The 5 spiritual powers are actually energies. I watched a thing that Thich Nhat Hanh gave a little talk last night on YouTube. I watched it last night. Him going through these powers and talking about them as energy. About 12 years ago, and I know I've shared some of this journey with you people that know me here, I lost my power. I had no power. I had lost the ability to understand that I had the power to change my life. I didn't understand that. I didn't know that. I didn't know how to tap into it. I was looking outside of myself for the answers. And my nature, and I think a lot of people's nature, is to look outside of ourselves for the answers. You know, it's like if only my husband would be kinder to me, or if he would dote on me, maybe my life would be better. If only I had a nicer car, if only my house was bigger and more beautiful. If only I painted better. All of those things are outside of me. They're not really within. And when I started to read this, I started to realize that 12 years ago, I developed faith in myself. And that is the first spiritual power, is faith. I have to believe in my heart and my soul and my spirit that I can change my life, that I can look within myself for the answers. It requires a lot of discipline and a lot of diligence, and diligence is the number 2. That is ability to practice my faith, to continually meditate on that. And the funny part about that is Thich Nhat Hanh talks about, he had a circle here. And you could say that the stored consciousness is down here. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but the stored consciousness is below, let's say. The mind consciousness is up above. So I have to go from the basement, which is the stored consciousness, up to the mind consciousness. And in the stored consciousness, I got a lot of seeds that can be positive or they can be negative. And I can either water the negative seeds and bring them up to the mind consciousness, which is going to kind of make my life a little bit of a living hell, or I can live the positive, water the positive seeds and bring them up to my mind consciousness. And that is just a journey that I have to think about daily, in my daily practice of living. How am I going to relate to people? What am I going to say? And the funny thing about that is I meditate in the basement. So I have to go to the basement to get up to the living room. in my head. So I just thought that was kind of interesting and sort of funny how that was something I was thinking about. That's what I do when I meditate. I usually meditate about 20 minutes a day. So I have to be diligent about that, and I have to constantly be working on my thoughts, how I relate to people, how I think about myself. And one of the things I'm working on right now is my inner anxiety, if you will. I have a problem that I've been going to a place to get off of a medication for a year. I've been spending $400 a month to do this. That's outside of me, right? Spending $400 a month is going outside of myself to try to find an answer. Well, I went through this whole process with all of these drinks and supplements and all this stuff I was doing for a year to get off this pill. Well, you know what? I'm still on it. I got the dose down from 60 milligrams to 20, and it's a PPI. I'm sure some of you have heard of PPIs. There are side effects that go along with them. I've always wanted to get off of it. It's the only medication I take. It's all I'm on, and I'm trying to get off of it. Well, after a while, I thought to myself, okay, what's the problem here? Well, they told me I had anxiety, and that was what was creating my acid. So she said, I think you need to go to a therapist. So I have been. I have been going to a therapist. I've been doing EMDR and this process of trying to reduce my anxiety. But what I found is that if I practice these 5 spiritual powers, I probably can get off of this medication. I have to believe it, right? I have to have the faith. I have to have the diligence to continue to do that. I have to have the mindfulness. And the mindfulness is the 3rd power. And the mindfulness means that when I eat, I have to be mindful of my eating. I have to sit there and think about chewing the food and not rushing. Because my whole life I rushed to eat. I was a nurse. Hurry, hurry. 30 minutes you got to eat. Get the food down. Well, I got developed into that kind of a habit after a while. So I was always shoveling food in. And so I've seen myself have to really pay attention to that and think, you got to stop that. You got to slow down. And you got to think about what you're doing. You got to sit there and eat and be mindful of it. It's hard. It's hard to do, but I'm getting better at it. It's like I said, diligence. I got to keep practicing this, the 2nd power. Then I have to concentrate on what I'm doing. That's the 4th power, is the concentration to actually implement what I'm trying to do and perform that, slowing down. And then you come to the power of insight. And insight is the understanding of my inner self, and it helps me to relate to people better. It helps me with my relationships. And one of the questions I've started to ask myself all the time now is it necessary and is it kind, whatever I say to people? Because if I'm saying something to get back at someone because they said something mean to me, it's not necessary. You don't have to do that. But you know, there's this inclination to want to get, to want to be the right fighter. I'm going to be the right fighter. I'm going to be right. I need to be right. I need to be the one has the upper hand here. And it's been hard to just sit back and go, no, you don't have to do that. And that's insight. And one of the examples I will give to you of these powers is I went to visit my mother in Florida. She's 93 years old. She'll be 94 in October. She still lives alone in her condominium. And I go there once a year usually and spend about 4 or 5 weeks with her. And this last visit, I decided to be mindful about being with her. I realized that how much more time do I have with her? She's still in a good place. She's still mentally good. And I thought, let's make this visit, this time with her, the best time that we've ever had. And every afternoon I would say, we're going to go out on the lanai and we're going to have coffee and dessert. And we're going to talk. We're going to get out from in front of the TV and we're just going to get to know each other. And that's what we did every afternoon. For 5 weeks, that's what we did. And when we parted ways that time, it was heartfelt. It was hard to say goodbye. But I now understand why I did that, because my brother and his wife are buying a house and she's going to be moving in with them now. And I will no longer have that opportunity to be with her, just the two of us, ever again. It will never happen again. And that's why that time was the precious time it was. And I was so grateful that I realized that while she was still alive, and that while I still have her in my life, I realized I gotta do this. And that's how I'm gonna try to think about my life now every day, is to practice these 5 spiritual powers, to try to remember to slow down, live in the moment, appreciate the time with my son, my husband, my friends, because they're all precious to me. And that is what I have learned about the art of power. And this Buddhist group has enhanced my life greatly. It has meant the world to me. The people here, when I go on Sunday and I sit in that room with these people, I know I will not be judged. I know I will be loved. And there will be compassion around me. And believe me, I need that. I think we all do. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Susan Auld will now reflect on a quotation from Thich Nhat Hanh.
Good morning again. In the Art of Power, excuse me, there was a chapter on boundless love. I'm gonna lose my voice now. And there was a passage in that chapter that really spoke to me. Thich Nhat Hanh says, when we meditate, we look deeply to nourish our joy and peace, and to embrace our suffering and transform it into wisdom and liberation. Love is not different from meditation. It is what we do with our love that makes it into a spiritual power. Our aim is to transform our limited love into true love, boundless love, offering ourselves and others the great gifts of compassion, transformation, and healing. Recently, UUA revised Article 2, the UU Values and Covenants section, and I was struck by the similarities between this passage by Thich Nhat Hanh and UUA's words, their definition in their values and covenant. It says, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love, inseparable from one another. These values include interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. Love is at the center. Love holds us together. Love is a spiritual discipline that drives how we live these values in our daily lives. So humbly, I borrow a template familiar to all of you. When we live our lives with the spirit, power, and discipline of love, everybody wins.
Thank you. Now for the practical part. In order to follow your breathing, you might try using the words in and out. Pretty simple. I realize that in past Dharma talks, I've mentioned long lists of precepts and paramitas. But today, all I ask is that you remember 2 words, in and out. So you have it easy this year. Just wait till next year when I could talk about the 108 dharmas. I might. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Your in-breath may last only a few seconds. Try an experiment. Can you pay attention to your in-breath just for that long? Then try the out-breath. It might last a little longer. Can you focus that long? It can be wonderful to let go of thinking and just be. Thich Nhat Hanh says, most of our thinking is an obstacle to being because when you're absorbed in thinking, you aren't present and fully alive, and you aren't in touch with the wonders of life. And I believe that the really good news is that just following one in-breath and one out-breath can help you to stop your habitual thinking and to be present in the here and now. Your mind and your body can become one, if only for a few seconds. But that might be better than being scattered all over the place like my mind is sometimes. Remember, a moment that is lost forever. A moment that is experienced fully is a treasure. Now let's enter the portal of mindfulness and meditation, where the luminous nature of your own heart-mind is waiting to be discovered. Please sit comfortably with your feet on the floor and your back as upright as is comfortable for you. Your feet may be able to connect with the earth, while the crown of your head may reach upwards toward the heavens. Let your shoulders relax. Your hands may rest on your lap or on your knees. You may keep your eyes open and slightly lowered, or you may close them. Now begin to notice your breathing, not judging it, just being aware of your in-breaths and your out-breaths. I will say some affirmations to you. Then, if you choose, say them softly to yourselves as Joanne repeats them. Then I will start the silent meditation by ringing the bell. May you be as fresh as a flower.
May I be fresh as a flower.
May you be as solid as a mountain.
May I be as solid as a mountain.
May you be as calm as still water.
May I be as calm as still water.
May you be as free and open as space.
May I be as free and open as space.
May your heart know peace.
May my heart know peace.
And may the sound of this bell bring you back to your true self through breathing in and breathing out. Now gently return your awareness to being present in the sanctuary here or wherever you are sitting, still feeling connected to all of us and to all beings through your loving kindness and your mindful breathing. Welcome back. And this gently leads us to the practice of generosity.
Okay, I have to say, this is a hard act to follow with the offertory. We support our church and community. Giving is a way to participate in love and blessings. Generosity opens us up to more love. It is a way to sow, to commit ourselves to a beloved community where we can inspire, heal, and belong. Today, we will reap the blessings to come. The offering will now gratefully be received.
Thank you. To summarize what we've talked about today, I'm going to ask the Buddhist study group to come forward, and also any other participants from the service today. And I'm going to ask them some questions, which they will answer, hopefully correctly. Whom has this service been about?
All of us.
What has this service been about?
Meditation.
When?
Now.
Where?
Here.
Why?
To be more aware and to enjoy life.
How?
Breathe in and out with awareness.
Now, if everyone would please join in, we are going to say in and out 3 times together. In and out. In and out. In and out. Wonderful. Thank you. Please remember that with every breath you take, you have an opportunity to pass through the portal of enlightenment. And since a person takes about 7 million breaths a year, that means we've got a lot of opportunities to enter the portal of enlightenment. I believe that when we're mindful and our hearts are filled with loving kindness, then we are in a holy place. So now let us rise as we're able and join together in singing When Our Hearts Are in a Holy Place, hymn number 1008 in the Teal hymnal.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell a story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the good of our hearts is within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
You may be seated. Though we extinguish the light of this chalice, we carry forth the love and the light that radiate from within us to share with the world. May you be as fresh as a flower, as solid as a mountain, as calm and still as water, and as free as space. And please remember that meditation is a way to develop deep understanding and respect for the luminous being that you truly are.